Hello and welcome to my to the anti-bad summer plan to avoid depression, and it is definitely not FDA approved. I have realized as I have worked in education that when I have the summers off, things can get a little bit lonely and depressing, so I'm gonna try to fix that for myself. Dude, this erase is so bad. All right, where's the Windex? Okay, now the bottle won't squirt. Oh, there it goes. So here's me. And I am between my job. The space between is summer when you work in education. And when I'm here at work, I make money. And when I'm over here after summer and at work, I make money, right? That makes sense, right? Okay, you follow me? So here I am in the middle. And this is a problem because I no longer make money in the summer. And I have a lot of time to fill. Which is about maybe like 2 months, right? And so that leaves a lot of room for activities, such as a vacation if I can afford it, and activities. Did I say activities? And here are the enemies of my summer vacation. Number one, laziness. I am really good at not doing anything, as are many of you, and that is a really awesome thing to be able to be good at, but it's also really hard because then that can lead to sadness. A lot of sadness. Not good. It's also so hot in my house because the AC went out, and so we're waiting on service people, so if I start sweating, you'll know why. Number two, unpredictability. This is also a really fun thing, but it can be a negative thing when all your days start to blur together and you don't really have a plan for what you're doing throughout the day, and it's just really boring. Number three, stir craze. This entails being on your butt too long and you eventually go stir crazy and you feel anxious, you haven't left the house in like 3 days, and it gets really bad. And so that's a problem for me, and it causes a lot of stress and anxiety. And four, lastly, is doom scrolling. This is pretty clear. If you scroll on your phone for too long, or even just perusing YouTube for too long, you can get in this state of doom scroll where you're not doing anything, you can't stop scrolling. It's kind of like an addiction, and it's kind of crazy, and it leads you to not do anything productive throughout the day, and it's horrible. So here is my plan. To combat laziness, the blue is the solution here, right? To combat laziness, I am going to plan. What that means is I am going to have projects. And we're calling them projects because sometimes they might be chores. And to make my stupid doo-doo brain not perceive them as something negative or bad, I'm gonna call them projects because projects is a lot more magical. We do projects around here, not chores. Because if I start to become idle too long, I get sad, remember? You remember this little guy over here? I get sad. So we need to remember that that's what we're trying to avoid here. We don't want this. We want this, like the old Walmart logo. We want to be that. This is what we want to embody throughout the entire summer. To combat unpredictability, we are going to have a schedule. What? A schedule? That's crazy. It's actually pretty doable if you use this thing called a calendar on your phone or any sort of app. I'm going to be using the note-taking app called Notion, where you can do lists and all sorts of things. And I'm going to send you over to my future self to tell you how that works. Future me? Thanks. Hi, it's Future Me with Notion here for you, just to show you a quick little summary of what's going on here. So this is my task menu that I've made on Notion, which is a free app. And I have a list of all the things I want to do. And because I have ADHD, probably, I like pictures and icons to help me figure things out and make things look easy. So I have a not started page, in progress column, and a done column. And actually this evolved from me using sticky notes in columns and moving the sticky notes from like in progress to done to somehow find a match of dopamine that would help me understand how to complete projects. So this is kind of like an evolution of that, but a digital version of it. I can pick all the stuff I want to do this morning, so I put them in my Monday page, and I can throw them here on the board. And I have lots of things like scheduling DMV Real ID because I'm going to Hawaii by the end of this month. And I have yet, with all the time that I've had to do it, I have not gotten my Real ID yet for Arizona. So that's awesome. So I have already completed my morning routine. I have already started filming this video. And as I think of these things, I can start putting them into days of the week and that way I don't really see them until the day of. That way it's all hidden and I don't have to look at things as a big general overview of the week so I don't get overwhelmed, and I can just focus on the day-to-day. So I think that'll help me stay focused and stay prioritized. Now back to the past me to finish explaining this whole plan. Past me. Thanks. That was explained super well and not in an amateur way. Super cool. So next is 3, stir craze. How do we combat that? I think the biggest thing is physical movement. You can't be stir crazy if you're outside of your environment, like you're not inside your house all the time. So that means riding my bike. That means going for a walk, even though it's like 110 degrees outside. But if I do that, I'm not gonna go stir crazy. That's pretty easy, right? And lastly, number 4, doom scrolling. How do we avoid that? No electronics. That's kind of impossible to do. So we're gonna have timers for apps, right? You can set that up in your phone, which I had before, but when I put a 30-minute timer on TikTok, I eventually inevitably go back and turn it off, and I spend about 4 hours on TikTok. So that's not a good thing either, and it's not productive either. So what are we gonna do instead of scrolling? I saw a TikTok back when I was in doom scrolling mode, which was just yesterday, and it said dwell or do. And I really like this phrase, and so I'm going to be adopting this for that. So thank you, whoever made that. It's a very cool phrase. I think a lot of anxiety and depression can stem from dwelling on things or thinking, and that's why we call ourselves overthinkers. It's more important to do because there's only so much planning you should do for something before you do it. Do. There are so many things that I have not done because I have been dwelling too much instead of doing. And a lot of those things are actually part of my career path that I'm trying to pursue. One of those being art. I have a degree in art and I have not been making art. And I've made a lot of art videos on this channel and on TikTok, but I have not gotten around to it. And there's a big perfectionist syndrome thing going on here where I have a hard time doing art because I never feel like it's good enough. So we're gonna work on that. Next one is videos, like I'm making right now. This is like the preface to making this stuff happen is because I want to make more videos. I scroll too much and I dwell on things too much instead of doing them. And I want to be a YouTuber, and it's fun. I like making videos. It should be fun again. And next, I don't want to hear any boos in the chat, is reading. Reading is really good for your brain.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And it makes you dwell, but in a good way. Not the bad dwell, the good dwell. You think in your brain by reading the words and you hallucinate while you read things. So self-help books or fiction, fantasy, whatever, because I need to do something and this will make my brain more smart, and scrolling makes it dumb. So, yeah. And lastly, projects are on my scope. Again, projects can be in parentheses because we're calling chores projects in order to make this more of a positive reinforcement for myself. But also projects could be unfinished things, right? And I have a lot of unfinished like videos or art projects that I haven't gotten around to. And yeah, I just want to start being a little factory and just pushing things out, right? And getting it out into the world. So all of these things are doing, right? I misdid the lines, but you get what I mean. This is all do, right? So this is kind of my official, unofficial plan that I have just really just delved into right here on camera with you for my summer. So I'm hoping that this works. If you have any ideas in the comment section, please let me know. But I guess we should start the day and get to it.
Helmets are not for nerds. They are for people who want to keep their brains
So alive.
Look at me! I'm in a field!
I should quit my job. Sail across the world.